Welcome to Mindboost Moments, a podcast for those who want to hear from like-minded people and how they're making a dent in the world. So join me on my continued journey of learning and discovery. This week I had the opportunity to catch up with a former colleague, Peter Clark-Lewis, who is the founder of Reimagine Learning. Peter's passionate about supporting and upskilling middle managers and is also on a journey of creating a new business himself. I spoke to Peter about some of the challenges he's currently facing with setting this business up and how you continue to create impactful learning experiences for clients and the benefit of supporting managers and leaders with their core skills. This is Mindboost Moments.
So, Peter Clark-Lewis, I'm the founder of Reimagine Learning. I have been in learning and development for approximately 20 years in one shape or another. I started my career in hospitality, so running pubs and restaurants. Then moved to contract catering, which is where I met you.
Yeah.
And then most recently, real estate, and then into my own consultancy.
Wow. So the consultancy is called Reimagine.
Reimagine Learning.
And that's a new part of your journey then, presumably.
Completely new part of my journey. Yes, stepping away from that corporate world into doing my own thing. So focusing on what I enjoy focusing on.
And what is that?
That is management development.
Okay.
So I look at two different things. Those are the, I know you're going to say what makes you fierce. This is what makes me fierce, right? This is two things: management development.
Yeah, don't give it all away just yet.
I'll keep some bits. Management development. That's what gets me going. Helping middle managers be the best that they can be, and giving those the skills that they need to do the jobs they're in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what are the things you've had to learn really quickly then in your own business? So, I guess start a business, or, not new to the subject, but new to running a business. And so what are the biggest things that you've learned really quickly?
Biggest things I've learned, marketing.
Yeah.
A whole new piece for me for external marketing, trying to build a client base.
Yeah.
Sales in a different way. So as a head of learning development, you're always selling anyway. You're selling to leadership, you're selling to internal clients.
Yeah.
But selling externally is very different.
Yeah. In what way?
You're selling the benefits of yourself a lot more as opposed to the outcome. So I know when I was a head of learning development in a business, I knew that business inside out. I knew the challenges. I had spoken to everybody on the ground floor right through to the senior people. When you're consulting, you don't get that opportunity. You don't get the opportunity to speak to absolutely everybody, to understand the business in its nth degree.
Yeah.
Before you go and talk to somebody and say, hey, how can we help?
And do you think, so what's the challenge there then? Is that you thinking, I don't know enough about your business before we have a conversation? Or have you got a perception that you don't think they know enough about you, about your credibility?
No, I don't think it's about credibility or knowing their business. I'm selling something different. So I'm selling my credibility, my expertise.
Okay.
Right? As opposed to when you're in-house, that is already, you're in the role. So that's already kind of guaranteed.
Yeah.
You're then selling a solution.
Yeah.
Whereas first, I now have to sell my credibility, my expertise, and then a solution to problems.
Right. And because I mean, this is really curious and front and center to my mind as well at the minute. So I've got a real trigger with the word sales, because I personally don't want to sell to people. I want to help people unlock things that they haven't done before. At Mindboost, we always say we want to make our clients rock stars in what they do. So instead of selling to them, we sort of want to unlock that ability. And so I have to go into a mindset. So when I have a conversation with someone, I'm not selling. I'm just seeing how we can help and, how we can work out what the solution looks like. And that's how I convince myself that I'm never really doing anything around sales. Now, people in the team go, yeah, no, that's what you do. You have to get things over the line. No, I'm just having conversations with people and seeing where their pain points are and seeing how we can unblock them. But again, that's my, I have a real problem with connecting with the word sales.
It's a mindset shift, isn't it? It's the way you look at how you're convincing yourself that what you're doing and not convincing yourself, you know what I mean, is making that difference. It's how you want to make a difference.
Yeah, that's the purpose, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I look at what I do as giving the opportunity to people to develop themselves and grow and develop, but I have to get myself in there.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, so it's never going to happen. You're never going to have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I suppose once you get to this mass effect, don't you, where there's enough people that you've worked with that just go, that's Peter, that's what he does. That's, you've got to speak to Peter. And that, that's a challenge. That's the first challenge, isn't it? How do we get people to recognize, the brand, the person, but more importantly, the value and the impact that you can bring? And the biggest thing is, how do you get a client to trust that? Because what most clients don't want to do is go, all right, we'll have an outside bet. It's someone we've never worked before, and then it goes horribly wrong. I mean, a client never wants to risk anything, do they? They want to say the word, we'll take the risk, but in the background they go, it's not really a risk because I know it's, it can never fail.
And it's the catch-22 of doing bespoke work for people as well.
Yeah.
Because by doing bespoke work, you're going, this is new, this is specifically for you and your challenges.
We're on a journey together.
Awful buzzwords. But if it's bespoke, it's brand new, it's not tried, it's not tested.
Yeah.
So you can say, I've done similar things before, but if it's bespoke and brand new, you've not done it before, and therefore there's no tried and tested evidence to back it up.
What's the compromise for that? Because we're in exactly the same. So we create bespoke digital learning content. And you could say a lot of it we've done already in terms of technology, not so much the design element, because that is pretty specific to each course, but the technology and some of the, again, a client will say, that's what we want. That's what we've got you in, because we want, this is our business. It's different from everything else that's out there. And that's why we trust you to deliver it. But yeah, we almost want some sort of reassurance on impact, or return on investment is the fun word as well. How do you balance that?
I kind of balance it by looking at individual clients, and it's digging into what their specific needs are. For me, it's looking at that, looking at similar things that I've done before, taking elements from different programs, mixing different elements together, and looking at when I've done similar projects, similar experiences before, these have been the impacts. I don't think you can ever guarantee an impact. You can't guarantee what that impact is going to be. You can guarantee it'll make an impact. You can't guarantee what that impact is going to be.
Hopefully in the right direction. And I always think that actually you've got to know your client, haven't you? Because some clients are completely risk averse. They don't want, they want tried and tested, but they also want their bespoke, if the two can exist. I mean, we're fortunate to work with some clients that just go, we trust you, just let's have a go. And if it doesn't work, it's a learning day, or that sort of thing. And that's the ideal, isn't it? There you go, wow. Okay, so I've got that much freedom, it could go wrong, but in a manageable way. And I suppose that's the best client to work with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those that trust in your expertise, right?
Yeah.
Your authenticity of who you are, your integrity, and how that comes across. That's what I'm selling. Essentially, you go back to selling things. It's not products that I'm selling. It's me. It's me, my business, and how we do things.
Have you considered that, selling a product then? Or you work in a niche, don't you? You could productize that.
Yes. So I sell specific courses
Yeah.
as off the shelf
Okay.
courses. But I think the bigger impact comes when you work with individual businesses on an ongoing basis, not just as a one-off.
And everything's changing all the time as well. So you might start with that idea, but then business is quite fluid. I mean, again, it's the same sort of thing between, a lot of it is already developed and, 50% of it is bespoke. That's the same thing like business, 50% of that business is sort of consistent, and then the rest of it, you need to flex on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
Yeah. And it's part of narrowing down what my offering is, right? Or what your offering is. It's where does the expertise lie? Like the whole, you can be a jack of all trades and master of none. I went into my own business because I want to do stuff that, one, I'm good at.
Yeah.
Two, that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And three, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
It's those three things, and that isn't everything. So there are certain things that I won't do. But I have contacts who will do them, who are good at it.
Yeah.
And it's that mixture of different things, and holding true to my brand and what I want to come across as.
Yeah.
It's keeping that together.
I mean, and that's the ideal, isn't it? There you go. The only space that I play in is the stuff that I really enjoy and that I'm really good at, because as soon as you do that, then all of that enthusiasm comes across, and that's where the impact is made. Then it's the intangible impact of someone going, oh my God, that was so amazing, because you love it and you're really good at it. But for those things that you're not very good at and you don't enjoy, there will always be someone else that says, oh, give that here because I love it. And as long as we can find the right partners to work with, they go, that's my weakness, that's your, strength. And what an amazing team.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes selling it easier.
Yeah.
Because when I'm talking about management, when I'm talking about fractional learning, when I'm talking about the things that I'm passionate about, I light up. I get excited.
Yeah. Well, everybody does, doesn't they? And not like, so why wouldn't you bring that to work every day to go, right, you're only going to do the stuff that you're good at and you really enjoy. You go, wow. Yeah. Like, that's not novel. That's just common sense.
Common sense. But when you're working in bigger organizations, you have to do the stuff you don't enjoy as well. You do it. There's always stuff you don't enjoy.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine turning around to your boss in the big organisation? I'm not very good at it, and I don't really enjoy doing it. And then people going, oh, all right then, sorry, I got that wrong. Fine. You'd go, hold on a second, something's going on here.
Like, it just wouldn't happen.
But why? Why is it like that? Maybe there ought to be more pushback to go, hold on, well, maybe that's the bit that's always been missing. You go, I'm not very good at that and I don't really enjoy it. However, my challenge is to go and find someone who is.
Cost is why that doesn't happen.
No, or people just haven't got tired. Please don't, I don't want to hear it. I just need that job done. Yeah. And how many people go,
yeah. That's what you paid to do.
Well, maybe that ought to be a part of your program then, to go, right, this is your challenge as managers to only ever do the stuff that you're good at and that you really enjoy. And that, like, get people thinking in a workshop to go, right, what is the best creative way that we can find everybody's, superpower?
Yeah, absolutely. And look at then how do you help other people find theirs, and how does it cascade down?
Yeah, because right, this is really going on to sort of leadership and management. Then isn't that really the purpose of a leader, to go, how do we get the best out of people?
Yeah, 100%. It's how do you get other people to enjoy what they do and be good at it.
We just reinvented something, or is this just something that everybody should be doing?
It's stuff that everyone should be doing.
Right, so why aren't they?
But they don't.
Why?
But they don't have, and this is partly why I get so passionate about management skills, right? We don't give managers the skills they need to do the jobs they're in right now. Yet so many companies and businesses focus on getting people ready for their next job. How do we prepare you to get to the next role that you're going to be in? Let's get you ready for that. But we don't give you the skills to really excel in the job that you're doing right now.
What is that time? Is that just sort of churn that's creating that challenge? So why, or is it people's desire just to go for the next thing all the time?
There's definitely a desire. I think there's definitely a desire if people want to grow and people want to improve. But I think that's about how you frame what growth looks like and what improvement looks like. Because
Yeah.
growth and improvement isn't always promotion
No.
and the next job.
And growth and promotion for what, an individual or the team, the organisation?
Yeah, for any of those things. But improvement and growth can be your own individual getting better at a skill that you're not good at or that you are good at, focusing on your strengths and getting better at those. But we tend to focus quite a lot, and there's a lot of talk in the L&D world now about future skills. How are we getting people ready for future skills? Because everything is changing, with the world changing, with AI coming in. There's lots of new skills out there. But if we only focus on future skills, how do we help people perform in the role they're in right now?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm just sort of, but I'm immediately drawn to future skills right now, but maybe that says more about me, that I'm focused on like, what's the next thing? And maybe I'm caught in that place where people go, no, just slow down. Like, it's all good thinking about future skills, but how do we make you even better at what you're doing in preparation for those future skills? And I'd need somebody to have a real honest conversation with me to go, slow down a minute. Let's, just develop you better right now. And then you can go on.
And they can run side by side, but I think we're starting to forget core skills, like the real basics of management and leadership. We're entering a world where people are burnt out and stressed, and we're hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's a constant thing, and that has a knock-on effect. We've created accidental managers, right? You've promoted the best person in your team at the skill, and they've become manager, and all of a sudden they're managing a team of people. That's been common practice for quite a long time.
Yeah. Is that our business necessity then, do you think?
I think so. I think we've found, as we've gone through the hard times, businesses have cut headcount, which means some people have had to step up and found themselves doing a role that they wouldn't necessarily choose. And let's face it, some people shouldn't be doing that. Management isn't for everyone. It's a skill. But I think people have found themselves in these positions partly by accident, without the support on how to do it. And now what we're doing is going, future skills. There's all these things over here coming down the road.
Yeah. So let's forget what's going on. Do you think that's a masking technique, though, of going, then you're not perfect at what you're doing already, and rather than tackle that, let's move something on to future skills?
I think it's a masking technique from organizations.
Okay.
I think when I go around and I speak to managers, they know what they're not good at.
Yeah.
But they don't know where to get the help for it to improve. Whereas organizations, and I think L&D is particularly prone to this of catching on to the next shiny thing and focusing on that, but forgetting what the need is right now, as well as what the need is in the future. And I'm not saying forget the need in the future. Like that's coming down the right line. And you need to be prepared for it, but you also need to focus on what's happening right now.
And so when we talk about future skills, I mean, again, I think it depends, your mindset age. But I mean, for me, you sort of think about future skills and you think, 5-10 years in the future. Well, the future at the minute is changing so rapidly. It's, next month and then the next 12 months that we're talking about future skills. But is that just a buzzword at the minute? Is not the biggest skill about just being adaptable and flexing to what's in front of you at that time? I mean, I often talk about, so AI is changing the landscape, but actually our biggest power as an individual is to be more human-like, and how do we connect with people? Now, if that was one of your core skills or one of your, that's your sort of base level default. You've got to know how to communicate and engage, with other people, and then layer that on with just the ability to adapt and flex, but in a real positive way. To me, they seem like the two skills that I'd really want.
Yeah. Not just how to use AI.
Yeah, quite. Because, again, someone's going to correct me, but AI is going to tell you how to manage the AI. And, in probably about 3 months' time, it'll be right. We don't need humans to program the AI because the AI is already self-learning. But what we need you to be really good at is to be able to communicate with people, but just to be really flexible on what's coming at you over the next few months.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's why I think the focusing on the now skills is more important. Like I hate generalizing about generations, but you take Gen Z, AI is not a new skill for them. Like AI, they will pick up like that, type of a thing, and they will pick that up. Some of our older generations will take longer to pick that up, but it's a skill they need right now, get used to it and to prepare and challenge, but it's not a skill that everybody needs.
And you could actually get rid of the generational perception and just think you don't need to understand AI. You just need to know that things are going to become easier and automated. And most people, regardless of any generations, would go, "Oh, that's all right then." So that bit that can be automated that I used to do, what can I do now? Okay, let's just, develop your role a little bit better, or you've got more time, more capacity. I mean, maybe it's so funny, isn't it? You hear the negative press to go, AI is going to remove roles. And then on the flip side to that, we're saying everyone's burnt out. And like, if you're sitting in the middle, you're going to go, we've got a solution here, but why are you not embracing it? Get the AI to start doing some of this stuff that's causing you burnout, and then free up your time so you can then focus on yourself or a bit more breathing space. And most people go, well, that sounds, sensible in principle, but if I'm spending time on me, then my boss is going to think I'm being unproductive. Like, what is the barrier to that?
And the whole, it's kind of like the whole being in the office, remote working, it's presenteeism versus productivity, right? And nothing is saying that AI makes us less productive. Nothing says that being at home makes you less productive. It's all about mindset of businesses and leaders and organizations. But if you take that back to core skills, have we given those people at the top of the tree, have we given them the core skills on how to be agile, how to think about the different ways of managing change and the changing landscape, and thinking about the future and how to handle different obstacles and changes? Or have we just elevated them into a role
that's probably going to make them fail, or their perception of failure, that's going to, I'm not very good at this, and then there's no support network around them. But I'm also thinking, a lot of that is about the environment that people are working in and around. Because again, you see so many posts on LinkedIn that says, if you need to see people every day to prove that they're working, you've probably, you're managing them wrong, or you've selected the wrong people, because most people just get on with it and be enthused to do that. And I think, however many posts around that, you sort of think, well, it's sort of right in a way, isn't it? Because you think, well, if I've been working at home for nearly 10, longer years now. And I think during that time, I'm probably more productive, because for a number of reasons that we've spoke about already, because I'm playing in a space that I really enjoy and that I'm really good at, but the team around me are doing the same as well. So you go, well, actually, you're always thinking about, what can I do? How can I make an impact in that? Rather than going, I'm at home, I'm just going to sit here and twiddle my thumbs until somebody tells me what to do. You go, perhaps the environment is contributing to that behavior as well.
Yeah, that and I'll go back to the core skills that we've not got, managers haven't got, right? They don't know how to effectively delegate work and what delegation actually means. They don't know how to effectively hire people. They don't know how to manage performance, how to set goals, because they're just top performers that have accidentally fallen into manager roles. So when you don't have any of those core skills, you're just getting by, you feel more stressed, you feel more burnt out, you're trying to do your job, plus you get caught in that cycle of it's just easier for me to do your job as well, because quicker and easier because you keep doing it wrong.
But it's interesting that you say about those top performers. So what defines those top performers? Because it sort of feels like they're perhaps not top performers.
Well, they're top performers in what they do, but management is different, right? You could take a salesperson and go, you make the most money, you sell the most.
Right.
You're a top performer.
But they might be really horrible around that.
Yeah. And then manage 5 other top salespeople.
Yeah.
The skills you need to manage those salespeople are really different.
And how often then have you heard from a manager in that position that's gone, I don't know what's going on. They're just not pulling in the revenue to do that. It can't be anything I'm doing because I've been a top performer.
Absolutely. All the time. And it's that I did a course a few weeks ago where the amount of people we talked about delegation, and some of those people there were like, I've been delegating 20 years now. I never knew that I wasn't actually delegating to people.
And what were they doing then? Just sort of issuing instruction?
Doing instructions, yeah. Right. Just giving tasks to people, like offloading work.
Right. And people just nod and go, yeah, that's what he does. I'm presuming I don't know why I did that, but apologies. Yeah. It is really interesting, isn't it? Because but how often do you hear that? What I'm thinking about now is that I'm going to say to you then, so what's the solution? You're just going to say to me, concentrate on core skills.
Kind of, yeah. Like listen to your managers and find out what they want. Because when you talk to managers, they are vocally saying, I need help doing this.
I need help.
And it is communication skills, it is delegation, prioritization, all of those sorts of things. They're the key skills that they need. That's been the same for as long as I've been doing L&D.
So why have we never cracked it then? If it's always been the same, and there's lots of people that are going, this is what you need, and this is how we can do it.
And I think some people have cracked it. I think some people do, but I think in the majority, there was a stat I read the other week that was saying something like 75% of managers say they've never had any training as a manager. Like, that's a lot.
So presumably, well, there's 2 things there, aren't there? Is there a difference of perception of what training is? Because I always said to people that, I remember working in an organisation and they saying, well, we've never had any trainers. I sat, shoulder to shoulder with you yesterday, just helping you with, but that's different. So there might be a perception.
There's no perception, yeah.
Okay.
Limits. But that also suggests that 75% of them are saying what they've had potentially has not had the impact they need it to have.
Yeah. Because they might, if I'd have given them the opportunity to answer, they would have said, I didn't want you sitting next to me anyway, so I'll never really listen to you. Yeah.
But it's about finding out those needs. Why we need to go back to finding out what the needs are. So now we're so focused on the shiny new things that are coming down the road.
Yeah.
We tend to forget, and AI is disrupting so much that we're scrambling to focus on those things that are coming, as opposed to what actually is going to make a difference and set you up for success down the road.
Do you know what I'm also thinking? It's probably a distraction technique for everyone, isn't it? Because like if you think you've got I'm going to use the phrase, if you've got a poor performing child, for instance, how often do you see parents trying to distract them? No, I'm not going to say child, I'm going to say a little dog. You've got a poor performing Woody, little dog. And how often do you see on the telly that you go, I'll give you a treat then? That's a distraction technique rather than get to the core of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And we do that with leadership programs. And we're going to, instead of treating a core issue, we're going to send you on this big expensive leadership program and get you ready for what's coming.
We're going to distract everything.
Yeah. That we'll spend money on you as opposed to actually something that might help.
Yeah. And that's just validation later down the line when someone says, have you had any training? Oh, yes, we went to that event, didn't we? Okay, what was the impact on that? Has it changed anything? I don't know, but we had fun.
And so many people are focusing on leadership. Leadership, right, is those people in leadership positions are going, oh, there's all this stuff coming down the line. There's the future skills. I need to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So many organizations spending so much money on future proofing their leadership.
Yeah.
It leaves nothing for middle managers.
Yeah. And you'd probably say that's 80% of your business really from there and, around.
Yeah. And if you break it back down into those core skills, agility and change management, like in my opinion, they're things that you should have as a leader. You should already know how to do that.
Yeah, and you already expect that that's what's going on in your business, don't you? If you're leading a business, how can you function if your team hasn't got all those core skills? Because you're inspiring and directing an organisation. But you can only do that if your core skills and your foundation is there and ready to be agile as your mind is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's how so many projects fail, because you've got someone who comes up with a bright idea and goes, right, let's get this moving. And everyone else is going, well, I like the idea, but I don't know how to execute it.
Yeah. And it's the wrongly named Peter principle, isn't it? It's the idea that you promote people to a point of incompetence. And that's what I feel like we've seemed to have been doing. And we've got to this point where we're promoting people to keep them satisfied, to placate them, to give them that reward, like you said.
We're setting them up for failure, but we're not recognizing there's that framework around them. So it doesn't need to be failure, does it? It needs to be appreciation of someone has not done this role before, therefore we need to give them a lot of support. I mean, again, that's the reason why you have stabilizers on the bike, because someone said, hold on a second, 2 wheels is quite tricky. So rather than try and push you and you just keep hurting yourself, why don't we put a bridge, some sort of framework around you first, and then we'll gradually take it off. And that's all it is, a stabilizers for a little while to go, you just need some framework around it, and then this will set you up for success in the future.
Exactly. And those stabilizers don't have to be on forever, but you do need them at the start.
Yeah, of course. And sometimes that might just be a mentor, right? Because it should be tailored, shouldn't it, to that individual? And, you go, I only want little wheels on my stabilizer. I only want one stabilizer because I think I'm all right. I get a lot of feedback, so we just tailor it.
Yeah, different things for different people. It is like gone are the days when training is now just a classroom-based thing, right? Death by PowerPoint. That's what you do. Like that's gone. That's fine, but the need is still there.
Yeah,
just how we're changing how we deliver that.
Yeah, and I don't think that'll ever change, because we should be curious by nature, shouldn't we? And that curiosity doesn't mean weakness. It's actually the opposite. If you've got a curiosity to learn, that's a real strength of character to go, I need to absorb more. I'm recognizing that I've got, I haven't got all the information. I haven't got all the answers, and I never will. I just need a bit of support around them.
Yeah. And what it's doing without those stabilizers on is people are feeling hurt. They're feeling burnt out and worn down and
battered.
Stressed more than ever have before.
Yeah.
But then it has a knock-on effect, right? There has a knock-on effect to the people below them who are looking up at their managers going,
yeah, please inspire me. Wow.
Yeah. Also looking at them going, I never want to do your job.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't want to be a manager in the future. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Should we look at your career development part? No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And that will cause an issue further down the line, because we're going to run out of managers.
I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, how many times you've heard that? I mean, I've said it myself. Now I'm like a pig in shit where I am at the minute, and that's because I don't want to, be subjected to what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, and there's some people that will be great people managers, and we know, we know people that are really good people, right? But those younger people, younger generations, and people who would make great managers are going to look at the current managers, seeing them burnt out and stressed and without the skills to be a manager, and go, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
The risk versus reward is not there.
Yeah. And it's such a shame, because I think everyone's got the potential to do that, given the right support, the right, motivation, encouragement, and the right, network around you. most people want to see the best out of other people.
And we're going to end up in a position where people don't want to take on those roles.
Yeah.
Not because they don't want to do it because they think they're not going to be any good at it, but because the risk and reward is out of balance.
Yeah, and that just is a compounding problem because, again, then you've got people that are great leaders having to do a lot of stuff that they're not very good at and vice versa. And so, it doesn't go away. It just shifts the attention to somewhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, how deep is that then? So if anyone wants a solution, head over your way.
Head over my way, yeah.
So I had another question for you, which was, what do you think, or what do other people think your superpower is?
My superpower? I am going to flip what would normally be considered a weakness around.
Okay.
So I am a glass half empty person.
Right.
So fairly unusual for an L&D person. I like to consider the glass half empty, but I think that is my superpower. Like, I see challenges really quickly.
Okay.
So when people present to me an idea, my go-to is to think of ways that won't work.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
So how do you work then with someone who's glass half full then?
That's fine. Glass half full is fine because they tend to come back with the solutions to my challenges.
Yeah.
But I can quite quickly move past that. Not just that I'm not pessimistic.
Yeah.
I am realistic in what I do.
Yeah.
So I very much will go, okay, that's an idea. These are the challenges that idea is going to face. How do I fix those?
I've just gone straight back to my story of stabilizers, because I would be the kid that just jumps on the bike and goes, I can do it. And you're going, hold on a second. You might need some of these stabilizers. No, I'm cool. And then I would ride into a lamppost and you go, okay. Look.
But I'd have thought, oh, hang on, you might ride into the lamppost. Let me pad the lamppost first. Let me give you a helmet and knee pads.
Yes. But I guess that's about how you position that, what's the word? You're sort of seeing some of the challenges before rather than going blindly into those and then discovering them.
Yeah. It's proactivity.
Yeah. I guess so. And I suppose it's, when I think about the comment I made before, is that most corporate businesses they're quite risk averse to taking, a punt on things. So at least you can go, right, I've factored in these things, but we're still going to come out with a fabulous outcome.
Absolutely. And I like to think of what gets in people's way when they are trying to grow, trying to develop. Yeah. When I'm helping other people, it's, have you thought of this?
Yeah.
Have you thought of that? I'm a much better mentor than I am coach. I don't offer coaching services because, one, I don't enjoy it particularly, but I like to mentor. I like to say, what about this?
Yeah.
Have you thought of this?
Yeah, getting people thinking.
Yeah.
I like it. Hey, what a fabulous conversation. I always say this. It's gone so quick.
It has gone quickly, very quickly.
Thank you so much for joining me. If people want to find out a little bit more about Peter, what you're doing, your new business, all of that, where's the best place to get hold of you?
Best place is either through LinkedIn. So that's where I'm posting all of my thoughts, everything that's in my head goes onto LinkedIn, or reimaginelearning.co.
Fabulous. Love it. Thank you so much for your time. This has been Mind Boost Moments. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to hear more, subscribe wherever you get your podcast from. And if you want to learn how Mind Boost can really add feeling and emotion to learning experiences within your business, check out our website at mindboostlearning.com.